I stand in my own dining room, holding a bottle of champagne, and my hands are shaking. My husband Brandon sits at the head of our table, wearing his best suit. Next to him is Victoria, his colleague from work. She's wearing a dress that probably costs more than our monthly grocery budget. Her lipstick is perfect, her hair is perfect, everything about her screams expensive. I'm wearing a simple navy dress I've had for 3 years. I cooked for hours. I set the table with our best china. I did everything right, like I always try to do. But it's never enough. Brandon looks at me with that expression I've come to hate. It's not quite a smile. It's a smirk. Like I'm a joke only he understands. Victoria is watching me too, her lips curved in amusement. "Why don't you be useful for once?" Brandon says, his voice dripping with contempt. Pour Victoria some champagne. Victoria's smile widens. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't have to. Her expression says it all. She's won. I'm nothing. My throat feels tight, but I move forward. I tilt the bottle and watch the golden liquid fill her glass. The bubbles rise and pop. Victoria doesn't thank me. She doesn't even look at me. Then Brandon's phone buzzes on the table. Once, twice, 3 times in quick succession. He glances at it casually, still wearing that smirk, probably expecting a text from a friend or a work email. I watch his face change. The smirk disappears like someone erased it. His skin goes white, not pale, white, like every drop of blood has drained from his body. His eyes get huge, his mouth opens, his hand holding his champagne glass starts shaking so badly the liquid sloshes over the rim. And then he screams. It's not words, it's just sound, raw and terrified and horrible, like he's seen something impossible, like his whole world just ended. But I'm getting ahead of myself. To understand that moment, you need to know how we got there. You need to know what my marriage became. 6 months before that dinner party, I still believed I could fix things. Brandon and I got married 5 years ago. In the beginning, it was good. He was charming and successful. He said he loved me. He said he wanted to take care of me. When he suggested I quit my job as a graphic designer, he made it sound romantic. "Let me take care of you," he said. "One of us needs to focus on making our house a home." I was stupid enough to believe him. The change didn't happen overnight. It was slow. He started coming home later from work. His goodnight kisses became quick pecks. Then they stopped altogether. He started criticizing little things. The way I folded his shirts, the temperature of his coffee, how I organized the kitchen cabinets. I thought if I just tried harder, things would get better. I cooked his favorite meals. I kept the house spotless. I never complained when he worked late or went on business trips. Nothing worked. The criticism got worse, meaner. He stopped saying please and thank you. He started talking to me the way you'd talk to a servant you don't particularly like. Every day I felt myself getting smaller, quieter, less. I wanted to leave, but I had no money of my own. Brandon controlled all our bank accounts. He gave me an allowance for groceries and household items, like I was a child. My family lives in Australia, too far away to help. I'd lost touch with most of my friends because I was too embarrassed to tell them how bad things had gotten. 3 months before the dinner party, something changed. Brandon started working even later than usual. Some nights he didn't come home until midnight, but he seemed happy, happier than he'd been in years. He hummed in the shower. He bought new clothes. He wore cologne every single day, even on Sundays when we just stayed home. I knew something was wrong. I just didn't know what yet. My suspicions grow with every passing day. Brandon has become a different person, not the cold, critical man I've been living with for the past year. Someone else, someone almost giddy. He hums in the shower, actual humming, happy songs. He buys new clothes, expensive shirts, designer shoes, a leather jacket that costs more than I spend on groceries in 2 months. He takes forever getting ready in the morning, checking his reflection, adjusting his collar. The cologne is the biggest tell. He wears it every single day now, even on weekends when we're just around the house. He never used to do that. When I ask about his late nights at work, he snaps at me. "You're being paranoid, Natalie. I have a demanding job. Stop being so clingy." Clingy. That's his new favorite word for me. I notice he's changed the passcode on his phone. When I ask why, he rolls his eyes. For security. Why do you need to know everything? One Tuesday evening, Brandon comes home and goes straight to the shower without even saying hello. I'm in the kitchen starting dinner when I notice his work laptop on the counter. He never leaves it out. Never. He usually takes it straight to his office and locks the door, but tonight it's just sitting there. Open. The screen is still lit. I know I shouldn't look, I know it's wrong, but my feet move toward it anyway. My heart pounds so hard I can hear it in my ears. I angle the screen toward me. His email is open. The most recent message sits at the top of his inbox. It's from someone named Victoria Westbrook. I know that name. Brandon has mentioned her a few times, a colleague at the investment bank where he works, but this email isn't about work. My eyes scan the words and my stomach drops through the floor. Last week at the hotel was incredible. I can't stop thinking about you. Only 3 more weeks until our Singapore trip. I'm counting the days. It's so hard pretending at the office that we're just colleagues. Poor you, having to go home every night to that useless wife, but soon we won't have to hide anymore. I read it again and again. The words don't change. That useless wife. My hands start shaking. I scroll up carefully and find more emails, dozens of them, going back 8 months. Messages about hotels they've stayed at, restaurants where they've had dinner, plans for their next business trip together, and comments about me. So many comments about me. Victoria calling me boring and pathetic, Brandon agreeing, both of them laughing about how I have no idea what's happening, how stupid I am, how easy it is to fool me. I hear the shower turn off upstairs. I close the laptop quickly and step back to the sink. My whole body feels numb. I turn on the water and grab a vegetable to wash, even though I can barely feel my hands. Brandon comes down a few minutes later, his hair still damp. He smells like that expensive cologne. He kisses the top of my head absently like I'm a dog he's patting. "What's for dinner?" he asks. "Chicken stir-fry," I say. My voice sounds normal. I don't know how. He wrinkles his nose. "I don't really feel like that. I'll order something for myself." He pulls out his phone and orders delivery for one. Just himself. I stand at the stove cooking food I'll eat alone while my husband sits in the living room, probably texting Victoria, waiting for his own meal to arrive. That night I lie in bed next to him, staring at the ceiling. He falls asleep easily. He always does. I listen to him breathe and feel like I'm lying next to a complete stranger. I could confront him tomorrow, scream, cry, throw things, but I know what would happen. He'd deny it, or worse, he'd admit it and tell me it's my fault, that I drove him to it by being boring, useless, not enough. And then what? I have no job, no money, nowhere to go. By morning, something has hardened inside me. The hurt is still there, burning in my chest, but underneath it is something else, something angry, something that refuses to just disappear quietly. I think about Victoria's email. That useless wife. I pick up my phone. My hands shake as I scroll through my contacts to a name I haven't called in months. Trish, my best friend from college, the friend I've been too ashamed to talk to. She answers on the second ring. "Natalie, is everything okay?" I break down. I tell her everything, the affair, the emails, how small Brandon has made me feel, how trapped I am. Trish listens without interrupting. When I finally stop talking, she's quiet for a moment. Then she says something that changes everything. "Do you want to just leave him, or do you want to make sure he actually pays for what he's done to you?" The next day, I meet Trish at a coffee shop across town. She slides a small USB drive across the table. "First, we gather evidence," she says. "Then we make a plan." Trish opens her laptop and shows me what's on the USB drive. It's software that can recover deleted messages and emails from computers. She works in cybersecurity, which means she knows everything about computers and digital information. She knows how to find evidence and how to hide what we're doing. "You need to be smart about this," she tells me. "If we're going to take him down, we need proof of everything, the affair, the money, all of it. And we need to make sure you're protected." For the next month, I become 2 different people. On the outside, I'm the same obedient wife. I cook Brandon's meals, I clean the house, I ask him how his day was even though he barely answers. I stay small and quiet and invisible, but secretly I'm gathering evidence. Every time Brandon takes a shower, I move fast. I plug the USB drive into the home computer and copy files. I screenshot emails. I photograph documents. My hands shake the whole time, terrified he'll catch me, but he never does. He thinks I'm too stupid to do something like this. That's his biggest mistake. The affair is worse than I thought. Brandon and Victoria have been together for 8 months. They've taken 3 trips together, staying at expensive hotels. They charged everything to company expense accounts and disguised them as business trips. The emails between them make me sick. They mock me constantly. They laugh about how clueless I am. They make jokes about my clothes, my cooking, how boring I must be in bed. I save every single message, but then I find something else, something bigger. In Brandon's financial files, there are bank statements that don't make sense, money moving in strange patterns, large amounts appearing and disappearing. I don't understand what I'm looking at, so I photograph everything and send it to Trish. She calls me an hour later, her voice tight with excitement. "Natalie, this is insider trading. Brandon and Victoria have been using confidential information about company mergers to make illegal stock trades. They've been hiding the money in offshore accounts." My stomach flips. "How much money?" "Nearly $200,000. I sit down hard. Brandon hasn't just been cheating on me, he's been breaking federal laws. Over the next 2 weeks, I document everything: bank statements, trade confirmations, hotel receipts, love emails. I create backup copies of all of it. One set goes to Trish's house, another goes into a cloud storage account Brandon doesn't know exists. A third set goes into a safety deposit box I open at a bank across town, using money I've been slowly skimming from the grocery budget. Trish helps me find a divorce lawyer, someone tough and discreet. I meet her at her office on a Tuesday afternoon while Brandon thinks I'm grocery shopping. The lawyer looks through everything I've gathered. Her eyebrows go up as she reads. "This is excellent work," she says. "The evidence of adultery is crystal clear, and the insider trading is serious. This could mean criminal charges for both of them, definitely job termination." "How soon can we move forward?" I ask. "I can have divorce papers ready in a week, but you need to decide when you want to serve him. Timing matters." "Not yet," I tell her. "I'll know when it's time." During all of this, Brandon gets worse. He doesn't even try to hide his contempt anymore. At a company party he drags me to, he introduces me to his colleagues as just my wife. But when Victoria walks over, his whole face lights up. "This is Victoria, my brilliant colleague," he says, pride in his voice. Victoria shakes hands with people, charming and confident. When Brandon steps away, she looks at me with barely hidden amusement. She knows I know nothing. Or at least she thinks I don't. I smile blandly and excuse myself to the bathroom. The humiliation burns, but I hold on to it. I let it fuel me. Every insult, every dismissive comment, every cruel joke I overhear between them. I collect them all like kindling for a fire. Then one evening, Brandon comes home and makes an announcement. "We're hosting a dinner party this Saturday," he says casually, not looking up from his phone. "Just you, me, and Victoria." I freeze. "Victoria is coming here? To our house?" "She wants to see where we live. I told her you'd prepare something nice." He finally looks at me, his expression cold. "Try not to embarrass me." Victoria, coming to my house, sitting at my table, while Brandon treats me like the help. Something clicks into place. This is it. This is the moment. "Of course," I say quietly. "I'll make sure it's a night no one forgets." Brandon doesn't hear the edge in my voice. He's already back on his phone, texting Victoria, smiling. I go upstairs to our bedroom and close the door. My hands shake as I text Trish. "It's time. This Saturday. I want to do it at the dinner." 3 dots appear immediately. Then her response. "I'll set everything up. He won't know what hit him." I look at myself in the mirror. For the first time in months, I see something other than the small, scared woman I've become. I see someone who's about to fight back. Saturday morning, I wake up early. Brandon is still asleep beside me. I look at him and feel nothing. No love, no hate, just a cold determination to see this through. I spend the day cooking. I make an elegant 3-course meal: French onion soup, beef tenderloin with roasted vegetables, chocolate mousse for dessert. I set the dining table with our best china, the wedding crystal we never use, fresh flowers, and candles. Everything looks perfect. But I've been preparing in other ways, too. This morning, I met Trish at a diner on the other side of town. She brought her laptop and showed me the final plan. "Everything is ready," she said. "All the evidence is compiled into packages. At exactly 7:30 tonight, an email will automatically send to Graham Ashford." Graham Ashford is Brandon's boss, a powerful man who hates scandal. "Another package goes to the Securities and Exchange Commission at the same time," Trish continued, "and a third one goes directly to Brandon's phone. A preview of everything that's about to destroy his life. My lawyer has helped me move money. I'm entitled to half of our legitimate marital assets. Yesterday, I transferred my share from our joint savings into a new account only I can access. Brandon hasn't noticed yet. He never checks that account. I've also secured an apartment, a small 1-bedroom across town. I can move in next week. I've already moved boxes of my things there, a few at a time over the past 2 weeks. Brandon never noticed those either. At 6 o'clock, the doorbell rings. Brandon rushes to answer it. I hear Victoria's laugh from the entryway. I step out of the kitchen and see her. She's wearing a designer dress that probably costs thousands of dollars. Her heels are high and expensive. Her makeup is flawless. She looks around our house with critical eyes, like she's inspecting it. "What a lovely little place," she says, her voice sweet, but her eyes cold. "So cozy." Cozy means small. I know exactly what she's saying. Brandon takes her coat with a tenderness he hasn't shown me in years. He offers her wine. He laughs at her comments. I watch them and feel my resolve strengthen. We sit down to dinner. I serve the French onion soup in perfect white bowls. Victoria takes 1 spoonful and raises her eyebrows. "Oh, this is quite good," she says, sounding surprised. "Did you use a recipe from the internet?" The insult is wrapped in a compliment. She's shocked I can do anything right. Brandon smirks. Through the meal, they talk around me, work gossip, people I don't know, their business trips. They share private jokes and laugh together while I sit silently at my own table. I'm treated like hired help, not the woman who lives here. I serve the main course, perfect beef tenderloin, cooked exactly right. Victoria examines it and says, "I'm actually watching my carbs, but I suppose I can have a few bites." No, thank you. No acknowledgement of the hours I spent cooking. As I clear the plates, Brandon leans back in his chair. His arm drapes near Victoria's shoulders. Her hand touches his on the table. They're not even pretending anymore. "We should have champagne," Brandon announces. "Victoria loves champagne, and we have that expensive bottle I've been saving." He looks at me like I'm a servant. "Well, go get it." I check my watch. 7:25. 5 minutes. I go to the kitchen and take the champagne from the fridge. My heart pounds, but my hands are steady. This is it. Everything I've planned for the past month comes down to the next few minutes. I return to the dining room. Brandon is leaning close to Victoria, whispering something that makes her giggle. They want me to see. They want me to know my place. I stand at the table holding the champagne bottle. Brandon looks at me with complete contempt. His lip curls into that smirk I hate. "Why don't you be useful for once?" he says. "Pour Victoria some champagne." Victoria's smile widens. She lifts her glass toward me, waiting. I look at the clock on the wall. 7:29. I begin to pour, watching the golden bubbles rise in her glass. Everything is about to change. I pour the champagne slowly. The bubbles rise and pop in Victoria's glass. My hand doesn't shake, not even a little. Victoria doesn't look at me, doesn't say, "Thank you." She's gazing at Brandon like I don't exist. Brandon picks up his own glass and raises it toward her. "To brilliant colleagues," he says with a meaningful smile. Victoria giggles and lifts her glass to touch his. Then his phone buzzes on the table. Not just once, several times in rapid succession. Buzz, 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 buzz. Brandon glances at it, still smiling, probably expecting a work email or a text from a friend. I watch his face. I've been waiting for this moment for weeks, imagining it, and now it's finally here. The smile disappears, just drops off his face like it was never there. His skin goes from normal to pale to a sickly gray-white. His eyes get huge. His mouth opens. The hand holding his champagne glass starts shaking so badly the liquid sloshes over the rim. "Brandon?" Victoria's flirty voice shifts to confusion. "What is it?" Brandon doesn't answer. He stares at his phone like it's showing him something impossible. His breathing gets faster and faster. His other hand grabs the edge of the table. Then he screams. It's not a word. It's a raw animal sound of pure terror, like his entire world just collapsed in on itself. He lurches up from his chair so violently it tips backward and crashes to the floor. The champagne glass falls from his hand and shatters on the hardwood. "What? What?" Victoria jumps up too, trying to see his phone. "Brandon, what's wrong?" Brandon's hands shake so hard he almost drops the phone. His face has gone from white to bright red. Sweat appears on his forehead. He looks at me, really looks at me, for the first time tonight. And something in my calm expression, in the way I'm standing here quietly with the champagne bottle still in my hands, makes his eyes go even wider. "You," he whispers. His voice is hoarse. "You... what did you..." He can't finish the sentence. He looks back at his phone, scrolling frantically, his breathing ragged. Victoria snatches the phone from his shaking hands. I watch her face as she reads. Watch the exact same transformation. Shock, disbelief, horror. I know what they're seeing. A text message from an unknown number. Attached files showing photos of their emails to each other, screenshots of bank accounts and illegal stock trades, hotel receipts, love messages, everything. And a simple note. By the time you read this, these files have been sent to Graham Ashford, the SEC, and several journalists. The truth always comes out. N. "No," Brandon says. He repeats it over and over. "No, no, no, no." He grabs his phone back and tries to open his email, his fingers fumbling. I know what he's seeing. An automated message saying his work email account has been suspended. It's 7:35. Graham Ashford always works late on Saturdays and checks his email constantly. He's seen everything. Victoria drops the phone on the table like it burned her. She looks at me with pure hatred in her eyes. "You sneaky little..." "I'd be careful what you say next," I interrupt. My voice sounds calm, almost peaceful. "Everything you say from this point forward can be used in legal proceedings, both the civil case and the criminal investigation." Brandon's phone rings. The screen lights up with a name, Graham Ashford. Brandon stares at it like it's a snake. It rings and rings. He doesn't move. "You should answer that," I say quietly. "Your boss probably has questions." The phone stops ringing. Silence fills the room for exactly 3 seconds. Then Victoria's phone starts ringing. Her screen shows her boss's name. Both of them stand frozen, staring at their phones. The dining table is chaos around them. The overturned chair, broken glass on the floor, spilled champagne, cold food on the plates, candles still burning peacefully. And I stand perfectly still, the champagne bottle in my hands, watching everything I planned unfold exactly as I designed it. Victoria's phone stops ringing. She looks at Brandon with wild eyes. All her confidence is gone. She looks scared. "What do we do?" Her voice is high and panicked. "Brandon, what do we do?" Brandon can't seem to speak. He's scrolling through his phone. His fingers shaking so badly he keeps missing what he's trying to press. I can see him reading the emails he thought were private, seeing the bank statements he thought were hidden, understanding that everything has been exposed. His phone rings again. Graham Ashford. This time Brandon answers with a trembling hand. He lifts the phone to his ear but says nothing. I can hear Graham's voice even from where I'm standing. He's shouting. I catch pieces of it. Explanation. Insider trading. Immediate termination. Legal action. Security will pack your desk. Brandon's face crumbles. Graham, Please, I can explain. Click. Graham hung up on him. Victoria is frantically typing on her phone, her fingers flying. Tears run down her face, ruining her perfect makeup. She reads something on her screen and makes a choking sound. "They're firing me," she says, her voice rising to almost a shriek. "They're firing me. They say I'm under investigation for insider trading and I need to get a lawyer." She spins toward me, her face twisted with rage. "You destroyed my career. Do you have any idea what you've done?" I set the champagne bottle down carefully on the sideboard. "I know exactly what I've done," I say. "I told the truth about what you and my husband have been doing. The affair, the illegal trading, all of it." "You had no right," Victoria shouts. "I had every right," I reply, my voice still calm. "You were sleeping with my husband. You were breaking federal laws. Did you think there would be no consequences?" Brandon suddenly comes alive. He rushes toward me, his face red with fury. "You stupid, vindictive—" I pull my phone from my pocket and hold it up. "I'm recording," I say simply. "Everything from this moment is being recorded and backed up to a cloud server. So please, Brandon, finish that sentence. Tell me again how stupid I am." Brandon freezes. Even now, even through his rage, some part of his brain is still working. He knows he's already in terrible trouble. Threatening me would make it worse. Victoria grabs her purse from the chair. "I'm leaving. I'm not staying here for this." She looks at Brandon, and I see betrayal in her eyes. "You said you had everything under control. You said she was too dumb to ever figure anything out." She storms to the door and slams it behind her. The house becomes very quiet. Brandon and I stand in the destroyed dining room, the fallen chair, the broken glass, the cold food, the candles still burning. "How long?" Brandon asks finally. His voice sounds hollow, empty. "How long have you known?" "Long enough," I say. "Long enough to find everything, the affair, the illegal trades, long enough to make copies and put them somewhere safe." "You've ruined me." His voice is barely a whisper. "My career, my reputation, everything." "No," I correct him. "You ruined yourself. You chose to have an affair. You chose to break the law. You chose to treat me like I was worthless. I just made sure your choices had consequences." Brandon's phone buzzes again, and again, and again. Messages flooding in. Colleagues who've heard the news. People asking if the rumors are true. Maybe even reporters. Brandon sinks into one of the still-standing chairs and puts his head in his hands. He looks smaller somehow. Deflated. I reach into my pocket and pull out an envelope. I place it on the table in front of him. "Divorce papers," I explain. "You'll be served officially on Monday, but I thought you should know now. I'm also taking half of our legitimate assets. I've already moved my share. My lawyer will be in touch about the house." Brandon doesn't look up, doesn't move. I turn and walk upstairs to our bedroom. I've already packed most of my things. They're in suitcases in my car, parked around the corner where Brandon wouldn't see it. I'm just getting the last few items. Behind me, I hear Brandon on the phone. His voice is desperate as he tries to call a lawyer, but I feel lighter than I have in years. The weight of pretending, of being small, of being afraid, it's all gone. I zip up my last bag and walk down the stairs. Brandon doesn't look at me as I head to the door. I step outside into the cool night air and breathe deeply. I'm free. 2 months later, I sit in a bright coffee shop with my laptop open in front of me. Sunlight streams through the windows. I'm working on a design project for my first freelance client since restarting my career. It's a logo for a small bakery, and I'm actually excited about it. Creating something again feels wonderful. The divorce is almost final. Brandon didn't contest anything. His lawyers told him fighting me would make everything worse, and he's already facing criminal charges for insider trading. The house sold quickly, and I'll get my half of the proceeds. More than enough to build a real foundation for my new life. Brandon lost his job the night of the dinner party. So did Victoria. The investigation is still ongoing, but the evidence Trish and I gathered is solid. Brandon's lawyer is trying to negotiate a plea deal. Victoria is trying to claim Brandon manipulated her, though the emails prove otherwise. They're both facing serious consequences. My lawyer made sure I have no legal connection to their crimes. I took only what I was entitled to from our legitimate accounts. There's a clear trail showing which money was earned legally and which came from illegal trades. I'm completely clear. Trish walks into the coffee shop and sets down 2 lattes. "One vanilla latte for the woman who took down her cheating husband," she says with a grin. I laugh. "I couldn't have done it without you." "True," she agrees, "but you're the one who had the courage." A lot of people would have just left quietly. I thought about it, I admit, but once I saw the illegal trading, I knew I couldn't just walk away. What if he'd kept going? Gotten worse? What if other people got hurt? Trish nods. "You did the right thing. And look at you now. Your own apartment, building your business, actually happy." It's true. My apartment is small, but it's mine. I chose the paint colors. I picked out the furniture. I hung art I actually like on the walls. No one criticizes my cooking or tells me I'm useless. I've reconnected with old friends. I joined a yoga class. I'm remembering who I am outside of being Brandon's wife. My phone buzzes. An email from a potential client who found my portfolio online. They want to discuss a project. I feel a flutter of excitement reading it. This is real. I'm actually rebuilding my career. "Have you heard anything about Brandon?" Trish asks. "Only through lawyers," I say. "He moved into a small apartment. He's working at a tiny firm making a quarter of what he used to make. It's the only place that would hire him with the investigation pending." I pause. I don't wish him more harm than what he brought on himself, but I don't feel sorry for him either. And Victoria? She moved back to her hometown, couldn't find work anywhere in finance. Her name is too connected to the scandal. I think about that dinner party sometimes, how I stood there pouring champagne while they treated me like nothing, how Brandon told me to be useful for once. I was terrified that night, I tell Trish, even though I knew what was coming. But I was also more sure of myself than I'd been in years. That moment when he looked at his phone, Trish says, grinning, I wish I could have seen his face. It was spectacular, I admit. The scream was even better. We both laugh. I open my laptop and show Trish the email from the potential client. We discuss ideas, my fingers already sketching rough concepts. This is what I love, creating, building, making something meaningful. The divorce will be final in 3 weeks. I'm planning a small celebration with Trish and a few close friends, not celebrating Brandon's downfall, but celebrating my new beginning. I look out the window at the city. Somewhere out there, Brandon is dealing with lawyers and investigators and the ruins of everything he built. Victoria is probably doing the same, far away. But I'm here. In a coffee shop with my best friend. With work I love and a future I'm building myself. I think about the champagne bottle, how my hands didn't shake when I poured it, even knowing what was about to happen. Be useful for once, Brandon had said. As it turned out, I was very useful, just not in the way he expected. I was useful to myself, finding my strength and planning my escape. I was useful to justice, making sure crimes didn't go unpunished. I was useful to my future self, the woman sitting here now, free and whole. Trish raises her coffee cup. To new beginnings. I touch my cup to hers. To new beginnings. This isn't the end of my story. It's the beginning of the best chapter yet. The chapter where I'm the author, where I make the choices, where I decide what my life looks like. The champagne never got drunk that night. The dinner went cold, the candles burned down, but I walked away with something far more valuable than a pleasant evening. I walked away with myself.